now that you understand why forward deployed engineers get rejected on the job, then the next conversation that we can have is, well, okay, how do we write an ATS optimized forward deployed engineering resume? And I will go ahead and actually walk you through this step by step, every single step of the way. And it starts off with this. Okay, the first thing you want to do here is you want to go ahead and actually access this document, and I'm going to paste this guy here, and you'll notice a lot of resumes right here, and I'm going to walk you through this entire step by step. More importantly, there is a Claude project right here, which we'll go ahead and actually use. But you're going to go ahead and actually use this tab. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and actually grab this for you. This is going to be the project name. So you are going to go back over here and you're going to create a Claude project with the following name. And then the next thing that you're going to go ahead and actually do is you're going to utilize, first things first is you want to actually create this project. Step one, I would say, like, create a Claude project with, actually here is with the following name. Okay, and I'm just going to make this as subheading like 3, and then you guys can just go out there and add it down here. And then now it's actually done, and this is the entire prompt. I'm going to explain to you what's going on here in a second. Step number 2 is I want you to go ahead and actually download a resume template from the Airtable, anyone that you like, because, and then you just come out to this tab right here. And you can just utilize any of this because this is actually the format that they actually want to go ahead and see it in. And you'll actually see this resume right here, right? The marketability of this so you have this right here, and I'm going to include the URL. I'm going to include the URL for this for you, and I'm going to add it right here from the Airtable. And then now you guys actually have it right here. And the next step is you're just going to go ahead and replace the content with revenue and training bullets. But I want you to not plagiarize this part. The skills chart here, take as many of these skills as you can, okay? And then I'm going to go back over to my Airtable, and then there's going to be a tab right here that's going to be called buzzwords right here. You can use them. Okay. Most importantly here are going to be the resume description bullets, and then you'll go out there and see things like these are customer satisfaction description bullets. These are revenue growth description bullets, and these are team leadership or data-driven decision making, right? So people don't want they of course want you to create the dashboards, but they also want to learn how to be able to create these dashboards themselves, like user engagement and stuff. It's very important that when we're making this, I'm going to just copy this right here. There's a few things you need to include if you expect to have an easier time landing this role. And for starters, you see your successfully transition? Okay, here's what you guys want to go out there and include for the forward deployed engineering roles. You want to have very, very clear metrics and try to avoid percentages wherever possible. Percentages aggravate hiring teams because they don't know what a 35% increase actually means. So you need to actually include, all right, so I increased website traffic from 3,000 visitors to 7,000 visitors a week, and I did it within 61 days. There's a few things that we need to take note of here. We need to have a very clear achievement metric, in this case, visitors per week. We need to have a very clear starting metric, in this case, 3,000 weekly visitors. We need to have a very clear ending metric, 7,000 visitors. And then we also need to have a time frame. They need to know the impact when it started, when it ended, and then on top of that, they also need to know, in addition to the metric, they need to know what was the time frame that it took you to impact this metric. Otherwise, they're not really going to go ahead and see you as a value add compared to somebody that has that metric very clearly laid out. Does that make sense? Perfect. Now that's actually step number 3. Now step number 4, come to the coaching call for a review. There's a few other things that I really want to go ahead and have everybody take note of right here, which is the following. In the resume templates that we're actually using, right? And you'll see basically all of this. Why are we using this? Well, because of strategy. Okay. Try to avoid these using the same verbs over and over and over again, but do not plagiarize. But more importantly, make sure that it's nice and it's clean. Yeah, bring it over to the review. But the next thing here is, I also want to be very clear about the following. Your resume alone is not going to be sufficient. So with the resume, I'm going to go back over to the actual resume. You need to have a reference to your portfolio website. You need to have a reference to your YouTube portfolio. And ideally, you need to have a reference to your Instagram portfolio. Now, are these 3 assets necessary? This one here, not so much. But if you do have it, you are very attractive. This one here, you're very, very, very attractive. And this one here, yes. So like, I also attach some of the reference sites that you guys can actually go use. Okay, confirm, boom, right? I help early stage founders go from product built to people paying for it. That is hot. That is very hot, right? So you have like, let me see here. Okay, that sounds like you are helping people drive revenue. So in the next upcoming video, we're going to go ahead and actually talk about LinkedIn.